Hi guys, welcome to a new episode of AB in the Films.
That glorious name, McDonald's. I had to have it.
You don't have it.
You sure about that?
Well, I just got back from seeing The Founder, and yeah, this is a movie that kept on getting delayed for some reason. Really, I mean, like, if you watch the trailers, it said serving this August, and then I heard it was going to come out in December, and then it didn't, and it's finally out in January. For those of you who don't know, I don't really know the story of how McDonald's got started. And I am familiar with the documentary Super Size Me from Morgan Spurlock. I heard it's a really good documentary, by the way, but I haven't seen that. So this was the first time I really took a tour of how McDonald's got started. And it's interesting. It really is interesting. Starts off with Michael Keaton, who plays Ray Kroc, the quote-unquote founder of McDonald's. And he's a milkshake guy, I guess. I don't know, he has milkshake mixers, and he's trying to sell them to different diners and companies and stuff like that. And he gets a call from this little hamburger joint in the Midwest called McDonald's, and he's introduced to their new system, which is basically fast food and how it works in the kitchen, and how it's revolutionary. It's really cool seeing an early version of McDonald's. You know, you don't see the arches or anything like that. And Michael Keaton is blown away by how the McDonald's brothers do business. Their names are Dick and Mac, by the way. Mac. Now you know where the Big Mac came from. And he's introduced to the two of them, and he tells them how they do business. And the scene I liked in particular is them explaining to Michael Keaton their backstory and how they grew up and how they got into the food service industry. And as the brothers, or the actors portraying the brothers, tell the story, we see photos and actual footage of the real McDonald's brothers starting their business and everything. So it's kind of cool. It goes documentary style a little bit there, even though this is technically a docudrama. So Michael Keaton, who is Ray Kroc, gets the idea to franchise McDonald's all over because he loves what they do, and he loves this new system they got going where, you know, burgers are out in 30 seconds rather than 30 minutes. And they have a particular way of doing McDonald's. Like, it's very interesting because McDonald's, the way it started out, was they only focused on 3 things that they would sell: hamburgers, french fries, and Coke. That's it. Just those 3 things. No chicken nuggets, no biscuits, not even milkshakes. I don't think they started out with milkshakes yet, not until later on. So yeah, that was interesting. They only focused on what would sell, as they say in the movie. And Ray Kroc goes a little too far, and it goes kind of Social Network on you, like, oh, he's going to take the business away from the brothers, and pretty much he does, in a way. Yeah, he does. He becomes involved in real estate business. You know, Ray is doing stuff behind the brothers' back, and even though they are the McDonald's brothers, they still don't have say over this and this. So, yeah, it's an interesting little story here, because I always wondered how McDonald's got started, and we find out where the arches came from, the big M arches. It was one of the brothers' ideas. I know we're only focused. This was something that really did kind of upset me a little bit, but I could probably look this up myself, but I was hoping the movie would explain it. I know it talks about the origin of McDonald's and the 50s and 60s. It takes place in the 50s of when it started to become America's favorite fast food place. But they never explain who came up with Ronald McDonald. They never explain who came up with the Hamburglar or Grimace or any of those McDonald's icons that were really big in the 80s and 90s, you know, when I grew up. So, well, pretty much the 90s, but still, like all those McDonald's characters were around in the 90s. Okay, I'm a 90s kid, but they were around then. They don't explain that. I was hoping they would. They don't. That came a little later. I don't think that was there at the beginning. It obviously wasn't. So on the whole, what do I think of this movie? It's good. It's good. If you like I'm a big fan of documentaries, and I love docudramas. Yeah, I say go see it. I think it's a good movie. Michael Keaton, as always, great performance from him. He's fantastic. The brothers are pretty good too. The two actors who play the McDonald's brothers, they're pretty fun to watch. It's really interesting when they tell Ray Kroc their backstory, because they go through everything, every little idea they had, what they did before they got into the food service. It turns out they wanted to open a movie theater at one point in the 30s during the Great Depression. Yeah, it's a really good movie. The Founder. I have a feeling it's going to get overlooked, because if you were to hear, oh, this is about how McDonald's got started, a lot of people are like, I don't care about that. No, it's good. It's really, really good. I have nothing else left to say about it. It's a nice little film that takes you inside the fast food industry and what it's become of now. But it's nice to see how it got started, because, believe it or not, guys, this was revolutionary at the time. I know it doesn't seem like it now, but in the 50s, it was. And the main thing I like about it is their original goal was for it to be all about families. So because this is the 1950s, they would tell Ray, they said, we don't want the jukebox around, because then that will attract teenage hoodlums and smoking, and we don't want that. All we want is families. It has to be a family-oriented place. It has to be like that. And I found that interesting. Like I think a lot of business people would get a kick out of this movie if they have businesses and such. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, it's not a film I would probably watch again, but it was a nice little interesting flick to see. Yeah, this is a really short review. The trailer pretty much gave everything away. It's a movie about the origin of how McDonald's got started. So, I liked it. I encourage you guys to check it out. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you guys in the next review. Later.